Hello and welcome to the video. So for years I've been an avid FIFA player. I've always wondered, is it possible to play co-op career? I finally found a way how. Trust me, this does actually work. It's not one of these scam videos where they say it's possible then it's not. It's a little bit of a workaround, but it is absolutely co-op career mode. It feels like co-op career mode, and you can even have a bit of freedom and flexibility with it and add your own rules, which makes it even better in my opinion. So what does it mean? Is it a scam? No, it's not a scam. It is literally a mode that you create where you and your friend are playing career mode against AI teams, with also the possibility to play against each other if you're in the same league or in the same competition, such as the Champions League. There's also ways that you can do transfer markets, youth players, all those things that you want in the game. You've got all that possibility available to you. What do you need? So there's a few things here. What I recommend, first of all, ideally, you both need the same version of FIFA or EAFC, whatever it's called nowadays. You can play on different versions. However, you remove the possibility of being able to play against each other, which is kind of the point. So having the same version of FIFA is especially important. You'll need Google Sheets, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. You'll need access to a website called Quick Match Simulator. I use this. You can also use AI tools or any way to simulate fixtures. And another thing, especially if you're going to do transfers, is having access to FIFA CM, which basically gives you all the information on players in career mode, the price, wages, things like that. How do you do it? So you both pick a team that's in the same league, or it could even be in a different league. Obviously, you remove the fun of being able to play against your buddy if you're in a different league, but you can do it. There's absolutely no problem with that. You use the tournament mode in FIFA, and this is really important that you do this. You can use kickoff. Personally, I don't think it's as fun, because at least in the tournament mode, you're getting those visuals of seeing a league table, seeing how many goals your players have scored, and seeing all that other kind of visual stuff that makes it that little bit nicer. You'll capture the results and goal scorers for your own games, and this is what I'll show you in a little bit. So it's a little bit of the workaround where you'll need to input your scorers and results into the Google Sheets. The Quick Simulator is going to capture the scorers and results for the AI games. So these are the games that you're not playing. So the other fixtures in the league are all being captured with this Quick Simulator. When you play against your friend, you'll use the online friendlies mode, and you'll have custom squads activated. This means that if you, for example, are a few seasons in, you've changed some overalls, so you've boosted a few players or even downgraded a few players, it gives you that possibility to use that custom squad. Same as if you do any transfers. You know, if you transfer some players into the team you're using, having those custom squads activated lets you use those players at the exact overalls that you've put them at. Right, so when you're in the actual game, how do you do the co-op career mode? So to do it, you will start up a tournament, and you'll basically make sure that it's the league that you will be playing. So Premier League is typically what we do. All you'll do is you'll select your team, so the team you're going to be playing as. So Manchester United for me, and then you press go, and that's pretty much it. I recommend saving it as something that you're gonna recognize. Good to save some backups as well, just to make sure that nothing can go wrong. And then that's pretty much it. Then you're in here, you can do your tactics, all that kind of stuff, and then you'll play your games, and that's pretty much it. So say, typically I would never sim a game. However, what I'm gonna do here is just to show you an example. I'm gonna quick sim. So here we can see I won 2-0 against Wolves. The scorer was Anthony and Rashford. No assist makers from the looks of it. No assisters. So what I would do is on the Google Sheet, which I showed you before, I would go to my fixtures tab, I would put in the score similar to how you saw before, and I would put Anthony and Rashford as the goal scorers. I would then update the league table for both Man United and Wolves, and then that is the fixture done. It takes under 5 minutes, couple of minutes at most once you're used to it, to add those results in. You can do it on your phone, you can do it on a laptop, on a, you know, I'm on PC, so I just use another monitor, and it's all in there, super easy. We don't worry too much about ratings, things like that. That's not overly important. What we do is at the end of the season, when we're at a point where we're like, okay, we're done, we will have a look at team stats, and we will go to our team, and we will just gather the appearances, and only the appearances that are in here, because goals and assists are captured throughout the season. So it's just about getting how many games the players play, and this is why when we play against each other, so say for example, my friend is Tottenham, what we would do at this point is I would save the game and quit. So like that. And we would go to online friendlies, wherever that is. There, online friendlies. You'd invite your friend. And the important thing is, so if you're playing at home in the fixture, you host. If your friend is playing at home, they host. So you make sure squad type is custom. It's important that it's custom. Obviously, everything else needs to be whatever the settings you want. You then invite them to the game. And then you just select your squad. And then whatever the squad is set as, it will be the same on here. So, and it will also be the same for him because it's customs. Whatever his squad is set as on his side, it will be the same. You play the game and exactly the same. You capture the scorers, the assist makers, and then you put it into the Excel sheet. The important thing is, then once you're going back to the tournament mode, you do need to get past the game. So if we load it up, so now when I'm playing against Spurs, the important thing to do is to make sure that the exact same players are playing in this game than the ones I used when we did the online friendly. It's not overly important about the scorers. It doesn't actually matter about the score. You don't have to worry about it. The main thing is that you make the exact same subs at the, it doesn't have to be the exact same time. 60th minute, make the exact same subs, and then that way the appearances will be correct. So say you would do a sim match like this. You could even do it straight away. Jump in. Say I brought on Garnacho in our game. I brought on Hoyland in our game. Those are the only 2 subs I made. Just wait until they happen. So the subs should be made now. Yep. And that's it. Then I can jump to the end. So pause, jump to result, and there we go. And then at that point, we can just move on to the next match and play that and rinse and repeat. And that's what you're doing. Every game, you're just capturing the score and the results. One person can do it. So say at the end of each match, me and my friend, we play at the same time. We play all of our games at the same time. At the end of the match, I put my results in and scorers and assist makers. I also put his in as well. And then we move on to the next match at the same time. So we're always at the same sort of fixture, because otherwise, if once he gets to the fixture where he's meant to be playing against me, he has to wait. So we do make sure we play at the same time, and that's pretty much it. You play along, and then eventually, once you we're on EAFC 24 here, but when you move on to another game, you just use the settings over here to do the transfers. So club transfers here. So say, for example, I've sold Casemiro to Bournemouth. That's now done. I sold Varane to Aston Villa. That's now done. So that's the way you would update those squads, and you can see now they're gone. And it's the same as if you were bringing players in. You would find where you've got the player from. I bought Diaz, so I would add it in here, and then Diaz is now in. So the next time I start the tournament, because each season you need to start a new tournament, Diaz will be in my squad. And that is how you keep track of the transfers. Also making sure you're agreeing on fees, budgets, all that kind of stuff. However you want to do it, or you can just do a complete fantasy run where you can buy whoever you want. It's entirely up to you how you do it. And that's pretty much it in terms of the game. So I hope that makes sense. And I'll show you the quick sim really quickly. So the next bit, what does the Google Sheet look like? So this is really your hub of information, and the more time you spend on this, the better it can be for the visual experience, for the interactive experience, all that kind of stuff. There are some Excel files already created which have all kinds of things you can use. I can put a few links for those in the description. However, I recommend really trying to do it yourself. Create your own Excel. Create your own sheets. Make it what you want it to be with your friend, because it can really be fun setting those rules. Holding each other accountable to the rules as well. Don't always tweak the rules as you go. Kind of decide at the beginning of the season what the overall increase is going to be. How's that going to work? What's the prize money? All that kind of stuff. So you can see in here a few things, they're just kind of instructions. So we've got some red, green sheets that are filled in at the end of the season. A few things like at the start of the season, you reset the squads, you download the latest updates, and that's before you do any transfers or any changes. So you're basically ensuring that both you and your co-op partner are playing with the same squads throughout the whole teams. Important thing is, if you're making a transfer, or if there are any transfers happening to other teams, you need to both do them on each version of the game. So you kind of need to come up with a list and decide, what transfers are happening. What I recommend, which I'll show you in a little bit, is using ChatGPT. Asking ChatGPT to make the transfers for you. Ask it to do some realistic transfers, which are most likely to happen, and that would make the game interesting. You can focus them around the league you're playing in as well. Other things in here, so under 23-year-olds, we decided they can have some overall increases. So, for example, if an under 23-year-old plays 20 times, they'll have a free overall increase. However, it's limited at 85. Once they reach 85, they can only go up by 1 overall at a time. 10 appearances is 2 overalls, 5 appearances, 1 overall. Quite overpowered, maybe, you would say. However, you can tweak this. If it's too overpowered, you can bring it down. If it's not overpowered enough, you can bring it up. So it's things like that. Transfer budgets will be decided at the season. So we've got a few ways below, as you can see. And then you can see here, need to reset all squads and then download updates. Tournament Premier League, Tournament Champions League. For EA FC 24, we didn't have the access to do domestic cups, so it was Premier League and Champions League. In EA FC 25, you can do tournaments with the FA Cup. Same in 26, when that comes out, you'll be able to do FA Cup as well. So that will be a new thing. We have things like the difficulty agreed, so we both have to play on Legendary. It has to be 6-minute halves, and it can't be in competitor mode. On player versus player, we ensure that we sim with the exact same lineup as the actual match. So obviously in the tournament, when you come up against your co-op partner's team, you cannot play in the actual tournament mode itself. So you will need to simulate that game. So the way we decide it, because we keep the league table updated in this Excel, the score doesn't matter so much. It's just the lineup, because what we do at the end of the season is we gather the appearances in the tournament mode itself to then add on to the future sheets. Stuff like goals and assists, we keep track of per game, so it's not important for that. So it's just little things like that. Things to keep track of per month. We got a picture of the score, hat tricks. We don't really do pictures of the score. We both stream our game as we play, so we can just get it straight from there. But we keep track of how many hat tricks players are scoring. We do player of the month, manager of the month, and we've got the prize here. So Premier League winners 100 mil, runner-up 65, etc. Champions League 75, and you can see there some of the fees. You can change this however you see fit. We decided this. It was our first season that we've completed, and we thought it'd be good to have some quite high winning fees. I think neither of us are going to win the Premier League, but just to give us that transfer budget for the next season, just to make it more fun. I've made a transfer tab here. So it's a bit of a dummy one at the moment because we're just finishing our season and moved on to EAFC 25. So you've got your players in, your players out, your total budget, and then your end budget. We are factoring in the wage, but per year. So when you're buying a player, we're also factoring in the wage, which is being added in per year at the end. And you can see Manchester United and Liverpool are the two teams that we're using. And it's in the same place. Goal scorers and assists. So there are two ways you can do it. You can do it completely manually, which is kind of what I was doing at the beginning. However, I found it was a little bit tedious. So after a while, I decided to make it a little bit more efficient. So here is the Champions League, basically. And this is how we got in the Champions League. So in green are the players on our teams. I'm actually in the Champions League final, which I've got to play, so that's why you can see a lot of my players are a bit higher up because we've had more games, and you can see Haaland, as always, scoring loads of goals. However, another way you can do it, and just before I go into that, you can see here the league table. So this is being updated manually by myself. So I'm Manchester United, and my co-op partner is Liverpool. And you can see here, we're a few games behind. Some of the teams have kind of finished their games. Because I'm simming the games and then adding the results, I simmed some of the games which didn't really have any effect on the season. You can see there my friend is Liverpool, and he's still kind of in a battle for the European places. So we've got the fixtures down here, and they're going to be played at the same time. So when my friend plays against Spurs, we'll also sim the other games to see their results, etc. So again, you've got the freedom to do that. You can see here on the right side the goal scorer charts. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to be using for the simming of the games. However, I did use ChatGPT to sim the first season games. Issue of ChatGPT, you can use it. However, it doesn't quite understand that there is a variety of players in teams. So you can see here, Haaland scored 45 goals. It's not out of the realm of possibility for Haaland, however, it's very unlikely. So you can kind of see the issue. And players having 28 assists, that's a lot of assists in a season. So it's things like that. I'm hoping this quick sim that I'm going to show you is a lot better. It factors in overalls. It works a lot like the FIFA simulator. So it's going to be a lot more accurate. And you can see here, for example, Man City have only lost one game all season. That was against me. Other than that, they've drawn 4 and won 33. So they've been absolutely ridiculous, which again is a limitation of ChatGPT, maybe not understanding that Man City can lose a game. You don't have to make them win everything. So yeah, just a few visuals for you. Made it a little bit nicer. You can make it even nicer. You can really use your imagination on this, use your art skills, make it colourful, all that kind of jazz. As you can see here, the knockouts. I've got the Champions League final to play. And yeah, so the fixtures. This is the way I do it. The fixtures all go in a table. We put the scorers, we put the assist makers in this kind of format, and then the scores here. And what this allows you to do is, when you do it like this and you input it, it will automatically update these sections here because they're done via a pivot table. So anytime Haaland gets added, it'll add another goal. Anytime Maddison's added, it'll have another assist or a goal, whatever you're putting it down as. And that's why this is quite a good way to do it, just because it saves you that time from having to manually add everything up yourself. It just does it all automatically. And you can see all the fixtures are in there. There's a few remaining for the end of our season that I'll need to sim. But a lot of the rest I've already simmed, so it's quite good. And what's good as well when you use a pivot table is if I want to see all the teams Haaland scored against, I can see. So I can see that he scored 2 against Burnley, 2 against Newcastle, 1 against Sheffield, a hat-trick against Fulham, 2 against West Ham, 2 against Nottingham Forest, 1 against me, where I actually beat them. That was their only loss. And you can even see who assisted him on all these. You can see De Bruyne pops up quite a lot there. So you've got that ability to really deep dive into the detail, which is good. Other bits, I use this for player of the month, just to get the monthly stats. Some deductions to do, and some of the bits like the knockouts, for example, in the Champions League. The group stage is fine because you have to play against each team twice. However, in the knockouts, it gets a little bit skewed because some of the teams that qualified on my friend's version didn't qualify on mine. Some of the ones that qualified on mine didn't go through. Because we're also simming it the same, you can see here, these are all the teams that qualified to the knockouts of the Champions League, and it wasn't exactly the same when we use a tournament mode. So we switched over to kickoff, which is good because you have the 2-leg Champions League kickoff mode. It's exactly the same. Obviously, it's not as nice because you can't look at the stats at the end, but we add them in here and it's all good. So that's why you can see there's a few images of the performances which have been added in manually. And that's where you have these tabs. So you've got the league season. I've completed it so far for the Champions League, not for the Premier League yet. So you've got your players, the year, that they're in the squad, and then you can put in appearances, goals, assists, clean sheets. Gives you some percentages at the end. The reason it's not shown for some of them is because, there aren't any goals or assists inserted currently. I do need to add those. I've currently only done appearances. And then the next season, I add all the names again, and instead I put 2025, if anyone's removed from the squad or transferred, I won't add them. And that's how that works. Got the same for Damon as well, my buddy who I'm doing the co-op with. So you got stuff like that. We got some nice visual things. So we've got Ballon d'Or winners. So we're going to pick a Ballon d'Or winner at the end of this season. FIFA World Cup. So if one of us does end up winning the Champions League, I'm in the final, to be fair, then the FIFA World Cup will be played. The Euros, we might not play that. We might just simulate it. And the UEFA Super Cup, again, I could play that if I win the Champions League. Champions League winners, Europa League winners, conference winners, and then I'll also sim some of the other leagues to find out who the winners are there. So you've really got that possibility to add some detail to your career mode. It doesn't take long. You literally simulate it through a system and it will let you know. This here is just another way to add players to the squad. So depending on the position that I choose, which is these IDs here, it adds it in this lovely list here of different goalkeepers. So I can keep track of all the goalkeepers that have played for my club, all the left backs that have played for my club, etc. And you can do a comparison on who's been your best ever left back, best striker, etc. Got the same here for Damon as well. We've got all-time best 11s. Because it's our first season, we obviously haven't decided on our best 11s yet, because obviously you've only got the first season to decide from, so you wouldn't have a lot to kind of go off. However, once we've done a few seasons, we'll be able to add in some names here. Got another sheet here where you can add some of the winner names. So similar to the other one, just more in a table view, you can add the winners of each competition. Global stats. So here we've got stuff like hat-tricks. So you can see Jota scored 3 hat-tricks, Son, Haaland, Bruno Fernandes, player of the months, which are decided amongst ourselves based off of the stats. So we're a little bit biased to our own players, of course. However, you can see, for example, Eze from Crystal Palace has won one there. Gabriel Jesus has won one there. Salah, oh, that's actually Damon's player. But you can see we're not too biased on our own players, but obviously if it's very close, we'll be more on the side of, our players. Another thing, you can add in screenshots. So Rashford had a really good phase for me during the season. So I added a little screenshot just as evidence to support why he's player of the month, just in case Damon tries to dispute that. All the facts are there as well. You've got the historic stats as well in here, where you can put how many years of service, the transfer fee, sale fee, etc. So this is what we're going to be using to keep track of players coming in as well and players going, and whether we made profit on players. So things like that. And what's good with this is you can transfer it across games. It doesn't have to be on just one game. So once we finish the season on EA FC 24, we go over to 25 and we can replicate the squads exactly how they were and then make the additions accordingly. Here, this is kind of the page where the all-time stats go. So similar to career mode, where you have all the clubs you've managed, all the games you've played, you can add all that stuff in here. Same for Damon, everything is replicated. And that is pretty much the Google Sheets. You can add more to this, you can have less. It's entirely up to you how you want to do it. This is the beauty of it, really, is it's all up to you. I'll show you really quickly another version that somebody's got. Obviously, this is in a lot more detail. This isn't what I created. This is what somebody else has done. And what we've kind of done is we've been inspired off other people to basically create our own. So you can see the detail here. It's ridiculous. It's so good. There's so many hidden macros in here. There's so much stuff. You've got like core DNA, and all this stuff is in Google Sheets. So you can use this with you and your buddy. You can have your own sheet. Have your own perks. This can help you calculate finances, tactics, all this kind of stuff, staff. So you've got everything that's in career mode, but in a Google Sheet, which is as easy to use, if not better, because you have those historic figures. So you can really see the detail here, which is incredible. All on here. So I'll put a link to this as well. You can, use some of this to as inspiration to create your own. However, you saw mine, it's a lot more basic than that. So the next bit, I'm going to show you the actual game. So now we're on the match simulator. So that's the link that I'll put below. You can make an account, which helps you save the league. And what you can do here is you can create a cup. Type it in. So say I put in Premier League Damon. We do a round robin, match engine standard, clubs. You can choose the version of the game. So next season we're going to be doing 24-25. We can do the amount of subs. Each team plays against each other twice. Enable home advantage, enable injuries. A few little settings there that you can do. Next we add the participants. So at this point, you basically add in all the teams that you've got in the Premier League. So if there's any relegations that you want to add in, you can do. So if I just put in 4 teams for now, you can obviously put in them all, and you only have to do this once. You've then got your league, and what will happen is when you press schedule matches, it will give you a round of fixtures, and this is how you simulate the fixtures amongst the AI. Obviously, before I said I was Man United and my friend was Liverpool, let's just say these are all the AI teams now. You would simulate the games in here. Quick sim if you need to. You've got the result there, 3-1. You've got the scorers down here that you can add into your Google Sheets. I'm not worried about the league table here, because obviously you will need to add in your own teams as well. Or actually, you don't even need to. You could just add in just the teams that you'll be playing against, and remove yourself from there, since you won't be simming any games. Because the league table will be done in the Google Sheet, so you don't actually need to worry about whatever league table's here. And that's it. That's how you get the results. And if I go back, it keeps it. I can simulate the other game. I think there's a way you can actually sim all games at once. Let's see, it's own goals. And this is why this is a little bit better, because you get own goals in here. You don't get assist makers for every goal, which is what ChatGPT tends to do. You get injuries as well. So you get little things that are more realistic to a season also in here, which is really good. And then, and you can see there, it's now moved on to match day 2, and it's got match day 3, etc. So you could really do a full season on this, which is good. You can even edit lineups as well, if you really wanted to go into detail for other teams, say if they've got a big game or what have you. And that's pretty much it. The other thing for transfers, you can use this. So say, for example, you wanted to look at Salah. You can see the value there is in euros, so that's how much you would have to spend on him. We also have a look at the yearly wage, so we would do that times 12, so that's probably another 3 million. So in total, it would cost you 107 million to buy Salah. So quite a difficult player to get rid of. We also use another thing, which is the calculator, so you can have a look at the value calculator. So say you're in a position where there are players that are different overall than what they appear on here, or they're youth players. You can choose the currency, put in their potential, based off of their age and how many games they're likely to play, like that, and then it will spit out a value for you, which you can then use to sell the player. So this is more for the selling side of things, but just a way as well to calculate some values. So for example, we had a bit of a situation in real life with Jota. Jota is going to be removed from the game. So we checked Jota, he's 85 overall, he's 29, he's unlikely to go up much in overall, maybe by 1 if he has a good season. So if we calculate that, we calculate his value at 68 million. So that just allows us to say, right, he was no longer in the game. However, we're going to compensate the money to Damon so that he doesn't completely lose out. So it's just a few little ways you can use the values to make the your career mode more fun between yourselves. And that's pretty much it. There's not really much more to show you. You can go into even more detail if you want to. You can look at other ways to make it more fun. These are the ways I've come up with. It works. We've had a hell of a time doing this career mode. It's not cumbersome doing the results at all. It's actually quite fun. You're almost spectating some of the games as well sometimes. And yeah, so just quickly, just before I go actually, just to show you ChatGPT. And this is why ChatGPT can be quite good as well. So say for example, if I put in give me 20 football transfers which could realistically happen across the 5 big Europe leagues. So if I put that in, it will give me a list. So you can see there, Ivan Toney to Chelsea, Eze to Man City, Elise to United. So you can replicate these transfers this way, just to make your career that slightly bit more fun. Like I said, you both need to do the transfers on your respective games as well. But just another way to make it that little bit more fun as well. So there you go. That is everything. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if it's something you're going to try out. Let me know if it's a bit of a cop-out as well. That's totally fine. But I do truly think this is a fun way to do it. It actually does allow you to play career mode with your friend, which is great. So yeah, thank you very much. Please like, please subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you soon.